Hi, I'm Viv Williams. Welcome to my back porch. These lovely flowers are dahlias. Dahlias come in all shapes and sizes and colors and varieties. They're so beautiful. But look at this. It's hiding the head of my husband, who grows them, hundreds of them, in our backyard all around our house that I get to enjoy. So I want to introduce you to him so you can see the process of growing these beautiful dahlias. Dave, I am so excited to share your obsession with the world. Dave's Dahlias, it's a big deal at our house.
So just for the record, Viv, you're my first obsession. Well, this is my second obsession.
It's hard for me to believe that something this beautiful comes out of something this interesting looking.
It does indeed. Now, this is a dwarf variety, and these tubers are all large sized, so they'll be 4 to 6 feet in height, and there's different styles of blooms.
Some are small like cotton balls, some are huge like dinner plates. It's hard to believe they're all from the same plant.
So what we're looking at is the winter harvest from last fall, and these are all Dahlia tubers, and they're more like potatoes than tulips or daffodils. And these have been stored through the winter in vermiculite. So I'll put a few inches of the vermiculite on the bottom, put in a layer of tubers, not touching one another, put in another layer of vermiculite, another layer of tubers. You can use sawdust or peat. The keys are that they can't be too dry or too wet. If they're too wet, they'll rot. If they're too dry, they desiccate and they won't grow in the spring.
So after you take them out of bed, you brush them off, and then you're ready to plant them.
Yes, so as an example, here's a tuber. It has a shoot that's already started. This one I can basically guarantee I'm going to have a plant that comes out of this one. This one doesn't have a shoot on it. It's probably 50-50 if I put this one in that it's actually going to grow. So ideally you put all tubers in that have already shown evidence of growth. So this is a small bed. It usually takes 2 to 3 weeks for them to break ground. There's only a few sort of critical points in growing dahlias. One of them I think is soil preparation, depth of bed. Important thing that you can't see is that these beds are about 18 inches deep, because the dahlias will rot if they get too wet, and that's where you need to have beds dug deeply once. You don't have to do that every season, but dig it deep and then have a nice loam soil. And once they're in, you want to avoid the temptation to water at all until they're about 4 to 6 inches out of the ground. Then you can start to water them, because they are so sensitive to too much moisture until they get started. When it comes to planting, because I've already turned the soil over, I can do that with my hands. And the spacing is about 18 to 24 inches apart. Now I stake these with the tuber up next to the stake, and the combination of the stake and the cage help keep the plant upright when it gets to 4 to 6 feet in height. One weakness that they have is that they grow so well, they get tall and they can fall over. Okay, dig this out, again, about 4 to 6 inches deep. I'll lay the tuber in on its side with the sprout part up. Then I'll secure the stake a little deeper and put the dahlia cage over the top of it, being careful not to stick the tuber. And you can potentially add these afterwards, but as the tuber grows, then you're at risk for puncturing the tubers. So it's nice to put it all in at one time. And then cover it up and put the label on.
And I'm going to put something there. So we've been gardening since day one in our marriage, and this is proof I found my son's dinosaur in the soil. He's 23.
Okay.
We dug it up from the other garden to remember the dahlias we planted together.
Thank you, dear.
Go do your thing.
They do take a bit of work, but they pay back in spades. Once they start blooming at mid to end of July, they'll bloom straight through till frost. Many months of gorgeous blooms.
Thanks for watching. I'd love to hear what you think with a thumbs up or comment below, and I hope you subscribe to our channel so we can keep you inspired with new episodes and projects.